meeting.
Let's see what works. I don't know.
Says it's live now.
Okay, it looks good.
Welcome to the Three Grandmas podcast.
Let's all go around and do our John Merrick impersonations.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm John Merrick.
This is just like
very nice to meet
the New
you.
World episode when he attacked the indigenous persons of North America. Remember that time? We're still battling the fallout when he said they're
not real people.
Remember, like when people when they came to the humans, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, these are humans and these are like the animals of the forest, right?
I didn't trying to say that. I know that I did never use those
the
words.
Humans.
I didn't say that. Can we move on from that and talk about this movie?
Yeah, I'm just teasing. No, JC would never say anything like that, and he's like, it's just like a misspeak, and we just like to tease. It's fun.
So we're on our what number is this? Is our fourth David Lynch film? Number 4 or number 3?
4.
5? Is it really?
No, I was trying to do something on my camera.
No,
it's 4, right? 4. I think 4.
4, yeah.
Eraserhead. Elephant Man,
Blue Velvet,
Blue Velvet.
Yeah.
Shut up! Where's my bourbon? Shithead! Can't you remember anything?
This is David Lynch's second film after he released Eraserhead. This movie was nominated for 8 Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Director for David Lynch, and it was his second film. And
Oscar was a disabled actor, right? My left foot, right? Nell. It's a classic trope, but please continue.
But what's interesting about this movie, firstly, I didn't even know that this movie starred John Hurt and Anthony Hopkins going into it. Like, that was a complete surprise to me. I didn't even know that. I
don't know who John Hurt is. But I was surprised about Johnny. Do you
know
Hopkins.
You know Harry Potter? He's Ollivander,
I don't know
the one shot that gave Harry Potter his one. Anyway, never mind.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of a famous John Hurt movie that everyone knows, but like he was in a lot of movies in the 80s.
He was the first person to get his chest burst open in Alien. That was him.
He's a great actor. He's a really good actor. He's like a beautiful blonde man, and he's been in a lot of great movies in the 80s. And like, he's won. I think he's won a couple Oscars, right?
I think so. He's the voice of the dragon in Merlin. Okay. That's a pull. He plays the War Doctor in Doctor Who as well.
He's just saying the War.
Oh, I have to look it up. He was the dad in Hellboy.
That's a good pull as well. Yes.
Okay, I got it. I see what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Those were him picking up paychecks. The real movies are the ones that he was in.
Hellboy was great. What are you talking about?
That's Guillermo del Toro.
He's a lead. He's a lead.
Okay, all right.
Like
what?
Your mic got really loud then.
Did it? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Prags.
Sorry, buddy.
Really loud.
I've been having some mic stabilization issues. I'll remediate them.
But yeah, so this movie is his second film, and what's really interesting about this movie, it's called The Elephant Man.
No elephants in it, really.
Well, yeah, there's a couple. There's a couple
right?
at the beginning. But this is the most conventional I've ever seen David Lynch.
Yes,
it is a standard narrative. It's really well told. It's beautiful. It's well written. It follows like most like biopic conventions. It doesn't break a lot of them. There's a couple of moments like some of the dream sequences that are very Lynchian. I think
there's a couple of Lynchian like framing that he does.
And the audio, the industrial audio.
Oh,
that basically got from Eraserhead. There's an amazing scene. I was listening with headphones where there's like a water feature in the audio track, right? But it's placed in like the foreground and to the left, and like he's like whoever remixed it or whatever did a great job of mixing like the sound and stuff.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
So that was surprising to me, and it kind of goes to show that like everything he did after this like wasn't an accident. It's like everything he does is completely intentional because he has the technical ability to make like just a traditional narrative. Like he understands storytelling, and he understands
all the stories. All of his movies have great stories.
Oh, absolutely. What I'm saying is like they're
Yeah, I'm
very
just saying.
unconventional. They're very like boundary pushing, and sometimes you might mistake that for incompetence or a mistake, but no. Everything he does is very deliberate, very constructed, and this is proof of that, I think. Because again, as a movie, this I
Did
really
you
like
pick this movie this week, JC? I'm glad you're
No, this
hosting
was yours,
episode.
Frank.
Oh, really? So I guess you get to do the whole show.
I just wanted to.
You didn't ever ask me what this movie meant to
my
me emotionally. That's how we
thoughts are
usually begin.
My thoughts are just spilling out. But yes, I wanted to ask you, what's your relationship to The Elephant Man?
This is an interesting movie because this is one of the movies that HBO would put on repeat when it was like nothing on HBO. And so people would see this movie. It's like for whatever reason, Lynch had like a lot of Lynch movies were on in the afternoon, right? And so like everyone knew this movie. And it was their first experience, I think, with black and white stuff. But I think the narrative is so strong that people aren't put off by the way it's filmed, right? Because most people, when they see a black and white movie come out in 1980, like, this is artsy and I don't want to deal with it. But at its foundation is a very human bioepic based on the biography of John Merrick, who was a real person. Merrick. And so I feel like he stuck to the text a lot. And I think I forgot about the performances of, like you said, fucking Anthony Hopkins was great. And, this is a tearjerker for sure. Mm-hmm. It's like the power of of him, like John Merrick's, tenaciousness and how he kept going through, like when things look dark. Like there's a point where he's taken out of his safe space and taken to Europe, and you're like, oh shit, that's it for him, right? He's never
gonna go so bad, yeah.
But he keeps persisting, and I think that's really great.
I love how human this movie is. Time, where have you come from with this movie? Like, were you familiar with it? Had you watched it before, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Like, what's
no, I don't know anything about this movie prior to watching it. Obviously, I didn't know it was a David Lynch movie at all. I had heard of this movie. I think just the title of it. I didn't know anything about it. So yeah, this was an entirely fresh experience for me. A weird experience because of the fact that, oh my god, you gotta get down, buddy. Because of the fact that it was on the back of 3 David Lynch movies that are very stylized, and then this one is, again, you said conventional and not like David Lynch, but there are hints of it here and there. Sure. It was very like not jarring, but it was like you're expecting something and you kind of just had to like sit back and just let it play out.
Absolutely. And the thing is like visually, like it's a very conventional narrative, but I still think it plays with a lot of the sort of themes that David Lynch is really interested in. Mm-hmm. And as I keep discussing, it's kind of like the juxtaposition of like something that's ugly and something that's beautiful, and those two things like married together at the same time. Because you have you have his outside like appearance obviously is very like quite confronting, but then he's just like the loveliest human being you've ever met. Like he's just so sweet and kind no negative and gentle qualities,
which is rare for a character. Right? He's no downs, right? He's not.
He's just yeah.
He's really like the like he's almost like the Jesus character, and how people treat him is how it's a real reflection on society and everything else.
You have movies that are somewhat in the same vein as this, where like it's like, a monster and they lash out and they're angry and they cause destruction or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And they kind of peel back the layers and you're like, oh, he's like that because of X, Y, and Z. But this never got into that. He just kind of just tanked all these negative things happening to him, and he just kept persevering. And then it was finally until they started seeing him as a human. And the doctor even, it seemed like he was using him as clout at the beginning. But I think it was kind of to show, what he is and who he is, and kind of be like, this is what someone has, and we're going to go past it and see what happens. And then, you slowly started seeing that he actually does care for him on
I
a
love that
human
scene
level.
when he's struggling with that issue. Is am I exploiting him just like
when he's talking to his
that
wife
other
about
guy
it.
when his wife comes down? And like some of the most emotional scenes is when his wife like greets him, and then John starts crying because he's never had a beautiful woman like walk up to him and treat him like a person. Right, stuff like that is just like
I'm getting emotional right now thinking
and like
about
that
it. Like,
creep who's always beating him with a stick. And one of the really sad scenes is like there's the scene when he's escaping. The other circus people are helping him escape back, and then the kid. I'm like, oh, he's gonna go with him. He's gonna follow them. And no, he's so beaten down. He puts his head down. He's got to go back to that fucking cunt.
And the scenes that really got to me are the ones where you can tell that John's really like he's really trying to like be personable with people, and there's that scene where
right?
there's that scene where where Treves, the Dr. Treves is introducing him to his boss. And he's teaching him the
Psalm 23.
Yeah, the
prayer,
the poem,
23rd Psalm.
the prayer, the 23rd Psalm. And he walks into the room. He's trying so hard, like he's trying so hard to like act normal and act intelligent and act like normal, but he's so nervous. And and then when he leaves the room, he starts reciting the poem. Because he already knew it, like they just assumed that he didn't. But he was too scared to obviously talk about it and say anything at that point. He was obviously like intelligent, but he just hadn't been treated with respect in so long, so he didn't feel like he had the right.
Body is just a vessel for the mind and the spirit, right? Like he's trapped in this prison that he was born into, this body, right? But his beautiful, like he has that beautiful cathedral he's building, or the church that he sees from the window. Like, is that paper or cardboard? Like, you could lock me in a room for a million years, I would never be able to make it that nice.
He acclimates into like a very proper gentleman too, like right away.
Well, he's like, this is
been
me.
Reading a lot in that hole that they've been keeping him in. Like he's been dreaming. Like the beautiful scene when he does the Romeo and Juliet scene with the actress. Who's based,
my God.
right? That actress is based. She goes and seeks him out. I'm gonna cry again. And like, she's like, "You're not the Elephant Man. You're Romeo."
Yeah.
And one of the theater goes.
Right around the house.
The elephant kills everyone.
You turn the movie off. You're like, that's all I need to see.
He's like, he pulls a sword out of his cane. He's like, "You're the Elephant Man now, bitch." That's the sequel. Elephant Man 2.
God damn it.
America Unglued. America Undone. Let's get it.
What's really funny is like, I watched a movie recently. It was the new Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, and there's a line in that movie where he says, "No, you're the monster," and it doesn't work in the movie. It just like comes off as really ham-fisted. It's like, I'm not the monster, you're the monster. But it's
such a cliche, right?
But then there's a scene at the end when Dr. Treves, like Anthony Hopkins' character, is talking to the guy that was exploiting him, and he's like, "You're the monster," and he totally owns it, and it like totally. It's like, it's not ham-fisted at all.
Anthony Hopkins is a fucking legend.
Those lines are always so just like ham-fisted, like just forced. Like, maybe, you know what? Maybe we're the Walking Dead. Fuck you.
But no, they nail it in this movie. Like, it doesn't feel forced. It just like it comes out naturally. Like, you're the fucking monster.
He's a master, right? There's great actors. There's like 15 great actors, right, working, and then there's like 2 or 3 that are like
at the top,
another level, and he's one of those guys.
Anthony
Jared
Hopkins,
Leto, fucking up there, right up there.
Anthony Hopkins, Jared Leto, we put him on the same pedestal.
1 and 2.
But apparently, Anthony Hopkins in real life is he's a real comic. Like he's completely silly,
bro. You know, he's a fucking goat, dog. He's
like in real life. So he isn't
he doesn't do comedy roles, right? He's never really done that.
He did do in Transformers. Actually, in Transformers 5, he was really funny. I'll give him that credit. He's the best one. He's the best part of Transformers 5.
Talk about picking up a check. Funny. They probably cut him a check for $2 million for that bitch, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, cool."
He's like,
there was
Remains of the
he
Day
says
is a
dickhead
wonderful
in that
Anthony
movie.
Hopkins. I mean,
It's
we
like,
all know Hannibal Lecter, right? We know
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
movie, but then Remains of the Day is a wonderful
it's an
Anthony
amazing
Hopkins.
film.
He's
Yeah.
a servant in this manner, and it goes through like the history of the thing. It's very historical drama, but he's great in like all. I mean, like you know, so
Westworld.
many
He's
He's a
fantastic
great
in Westworld.
historical actor too, and he's just like these. Some of these guys are been so well educated, and they go to Cambridge or Oxford, and they get educated in the London theater system, and you know they're learning on Shakespeare, and they're doing Othello, and they're doing these very complicated iambic pentameter plays that they have to understand what the words mean, right? So you have to have a great degree of education to pull off theater work at that level, because that's how they throw them in. Like in America, they'll start you with Our Town or something. You don't have to do Ophelia, or you don't have to do you know, any of the famous ones.
Yeah, I really want to see his film Titus, which is based on
That's exactly
Is it Homer? It's based on Homer.
Titus?
Isn't it like a Greek play?
I think so.
I think it's
Don't quote me.
It's a Greek play.
But that's a really good adaptation, because it's really renowned for its sets, because it's like a Roman.
Apparently it's visually stunning, that movie.
Visually stunning, yes.
Yeah, but what I really liked also about this movie is like it doesn't beat around the bush about how horrible circuses are, and just the absolute maltreatment that these people went through, like at
especially
that time
in the
period,
Victorian era, right? The 1900s.
Yeah, and it makes me even like it makes so one of the worst movies I've ever seen is The Greatest Showman with Hugh Jackman, and
oh really?
It's a musical about P.T. Barnum, and it completely whitewashes everything that horrible human being did. And the whole like subject matter, like the whole theme of the movie is like, oh, we're different, and you know that's what makes us special. And
you're
all
telling
of this,
me
like,
it's not
bullshit.
good for elephants to put them on a train and drag them across the country with giraffes and chimpanzees?
Thinks it is.
That's crazy.
Like, I know, but that's what circuses are. Like, these animals don't like to travel as much as you do, guy. Why are we doing like this? Is something that happened like a long time ago, and like they're just
and the movie's like oh, it's like we're freaks, but and, you know, they have this gorgeous like Zendaya like and they're all freaks and horrible, and
it's an
hilarious awful movie.
In a bad way.
Movie. And this movie makes like shits on that movie so hard. It's like it's actually hilarious. Like I was watching this going, oh my god, that
there's
like, it makes that movie so much worse.
There's a famous film from early film called Freaks. I don't know if you've ever seen it, which is just a guy goes in and he makes a film, but he only uses real freaks from the circus, and it was made in like 1927 too. It's wild. So there's a lot of things borrowed from that film in this, right? But it's not as exploitive. Like that was a bit of an exploitation right back then, right? But this one, I like that David Lynch is he's honoring the freaks. The freaks are the good guys in this. The freaks are the ones that liberate them. The freaks are the ones that are bothering everyone. Everyone else is trying to exploit everyone else. Right. And like the way that guy treats him, like he's like my treasure, and like this is mine, and like it's fucking
give me
wild.
Back my man.
He's like, you don't own a man. It's you don't own this man. It's just like the dialogue in this movie. And then the other guy
who works at the hospital that keeps bringing people around, like just even more depravity. And then like that whole scene where they're throwing whiskey on him, and the girl, the fucking, it's just it's just like so miserable.
Disgusting. And he couldn't do anything about it because he's like he's
got one arm that works. He's bent. Like he doesn't have the physical. Like I would love to see him take that cane to somebody's fucking nuts one of these times. Though, I tell you right now. Hopefully the doctor teaches him some anatomy in that cane, because like at some point, if you're like him, you have to learn how to defend yourself, because people will just come up with you and touch you and fuck with you, and you have to stick that fucking cane in their ribs, right? Because otherwise they keep touching you, bro.
But there's so many really great scenes. I love the scene that they let they're in the board meeting, and they let that guy just like say all this like horrific, horrendous, bigoted shit. Like for a good like 5 minutes, he just keeps talking, and they're all just silent. Right. And then at the end,
why do we have to have them here anyway?
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, we actually have a guest. Here's a guest I prepared earlier, and it's the Princess of Wales, and she brings in a letter from the Queen Elizabeth
Victoria?
I.
Was it Elizabeth?
I think it was Elizabeth I.
Okay.
And it's basically like I have so much respect for all of the all the help that you've given to John Merrick, and I hope that you continue it for the rest of your days, and then immediately like so initially that he was putting forward a motion to get rid of John Merrick, and then immediately afterwards he's like, I put forward a motion to keep John Merrick for the rest of his life. Like,
he's like, the bet's paid for, we're all good. And then they look at him and he's like,
and the guy's like,
the doctor's like, smart,
it's amazing.
He's going through the newspaper system, and the Royal Crown sees that as good PR, right? And because they did a lot of that charity stuff in the Victorian era and afterwards, right? This is right after the Victorian era, right? Turn of the century. Yeah. And so he's smart because he's popularizing him instead of just like shitting on him. And that's why the actress comes to see him. Then she helps elevate him. Right? Is it exploitive? Yeah, but at the same time, it also gets him out of the fucking, like, you know, where he was in that hole that he was keeping him in. So, like, you know, it's tough to say he was exploited. Like, he was actually, but then we think about all the people that were left behind that nobody even, like, imagine if instead of the Crown trying to just say, okay, we're going to support this guy, have a campaign to, like, free the other people that are being treated like that, right? That's where they don't go. Like, what about the other 10,000 freaks that are just getting beat on? This one's a famous one, so it's good for you, right? And that's what he's talking about, the exploitation. Because like, what about all of other God's children?
And that's why the movie ends up taking him back. I mean, it did really happen to him. Like, he did go back to being exploited in the freak show, but that's
when
why
they
the movie does that.
Monkey cage, that was a crazy part, right? The baboons, and like I love how they shot that.
The sound.
Oh, God. This movie is great, but the audio is amazing in this sound. The gas lamps in every scene, and I love, obviously the lighting is great, but you could hear the gas, and you could imagine what it was like to live back then. You would have to smell that gas everywhere. You know, when you ever smell like natural gas, it's got that weird smell. It must have reeked in that place with that shit everywhere. You know what? Right?
This movie was black and white, which, I mean, I knew going into it, but it didn't feel black and white. Like,
it felt so in color.
Yeah, like I felt super like engrossed in the movie. So there's a lot of depth to it as far as like how it looked, you know. So like it didn't feel like black and white where I was like, oh, it's, you know, this is what it is.
Like, I'm sign of the times. Yeah.
Because the black and white was doing a job. It wasn't just in black and white. It was like doing the shadows and the contrast with the natural light, with the gas light. And I felt like there was like a minor yellow tint from the gas or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't sepia really, but it was just a little very minor yellowness to it. And like, but there's the other thing, like when you do shit like that, it's very easily not to light it correctly. So you can't see what the fuck's going on. And David Lynch seems to be a master at two things. Like, after I see 4 movies in a row now, it's the lighting and the audio. Because everything is crystal clear. Because it's tough to understand John Merrick at first, right? But like everything is so well mic'd and mixed. It's just extraordinarily excellent.
Yeah, and I was going to say, because of like all the high contrast and everything that you see in this, you can see hints of why he went like the noir route like later on in his career, like with his color movies. Like, you can see all of that in this. It's shot like, it's not a noir, but it's shot like a classic noir. You know, to really, I feel like it's so that you can really accentuate the dark and light of the situation, and you know, you see all the curves of his sort of affliction, and it's like, it's all about like that impression that the sort of confronting nature of his affliction and
the contrast.
And how you marry that with the person underneath, like the really just lovely, kind, curious person underneath. It's
because it's just skin and bones being moved around, right? Because it's kind of an amazing mystery what animates a body, right? And like, once you see someone die and that thing leaves, you notice it, even though it's just flesh and bones and skin, but the force behind it is amazing, right? And that's what we need to focus on with people, right? It's because everything else can be changed or altered or not exist or maimed, but like the real countenance of a person is their actions and like their spirit and how they treat people.
Exactly.
I think,
and I do have a question, because he said he wouldn't be able to cure him, but I want to know, like, has medicine evolved to the point where someone like this, you'd be able to like surgically remove those things? Like, have we gotten to the point where that
would it depend on what those things are, like, what they are?
Yeah, if they're metastasized. Well, I don't think they were cancerous.
Those tumors?
No, I don't think so,
oh
no.
my god, bro!
But they did say that he was dying, right? Because he ended up dying from.
Well, I'll tell you what. It's interesting because he had his sleep bent over the whole time, and like that must have been excruciating. It must have fucked up his everything, right? It must have been very painful. And the last scene, I feel like he was ready to sleep, and it killed him, and he just wanted to lay down. He had those he had the pictures on the wall where of people sleeping. That was his fantasy. Was just to have a decent sleep once in his life, right? That's how we take for granted
it's making me emotional. Like you describing it. It's
because it reminds us of all the advantages that we have, and what we do with them is like he made a lot of sugar out of the shit he was handed, and are we doing the same with the amount of gifts and opportunities we have? Probably not, you know.
And go ahead, Tom.
When he was talking about sleeping, you know, like actually sleeping, I felt like he could have turned on the opposite side and slept, or is the growth
I think it fucks
too far over?
No, the problem is that the growth.
Because the picture she was on her side like this.
No, the issue, but the thing is the issue is not like while he's sleeping. It's when he tries to get up. It's too heavy. He will snap his neck.
Okay. I think it's compressing his spine and some sort of fucking thing where it just like chokes him out. You know how when you get it like a chokehold and you put the carotid artery.
No, but remember when he's being abused by the security guard, and he's lying back and he can't get up. Like his head is literally like he can barely breathe. Yeah, and if he tried to, it would snap his neck. Like that's how I interpret it. It like his head's so heavy that he would break his neck.
Why did Anthony Hopkins say his genitalia is?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Of all the things,
looking at that picture, I didn't know it was his mother at first, right? And I thought, oh my god, are they gonna have a fucking scene of self-soothing here? And no, he was just chilling in his bed, reflecting on, like, you know, like why? But like, why is that pertinent? He's like, amazingly, does that mean like, oh, he's available to date still? Like, what do you mean?
I think it was literally just, you know, you know, he's presenting him to the like it's a medical field thing. It's like an anatomic
right. He's got this. He's got that. Don't worry.
This is fine.
It's all good.
The elephant.
And they pull his pants down to show.
Maybe he's called the Elephant Man because he has a massive cock. Maybe. Did you ever think about that,
what
JC?
It was. Yeah.
I think it's just a curiosity thing. Like, I literally think it's just this would be interesting.
I'd like to think
I wouldn't be beautiful. If I saw someone like that,
phallus,
with that affliction, I wouldn't be wondering. You think his dick works? Wouldn't be wondering that.
I'd be thinking.
You know what he said? He should say it does work and it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Like, you know what he should do? Keep the bag on his head and just walk around with no pants, and draw an elephant face on his tummy with elephant ears, and make that the trunk, and say, "Look at me now."
And he keeps pointing out, and he goes, "This never forgets." And then do that, yeah.
It's a stampede.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I really hope him and the theater lady got a chance to use it. You know what I mean? Like, I really
she's so
I really hope they got the opportunity, because she was in love with him, right? Like, it's like just reading about him.
I don't think so.
Oh, really? I didn't read about it. I don't know.
But she was reading. She admired him. And
she can be very. Sometimes women are like that, dog. They love
deep level
the inside.
I don't think she wanted to like jerk him off or anything.
No, but I didn't mean like that. I feel like
everyone's different. You might be one person in London that thinks that's fucking fire.
You're right.
Like, I like that he's so disfigured, because his beauty inside is much more, and that's what I fuck with. Now, 99% of the people probably wouldn't say that, because it would be their ego.
You're right. There's someone for everyone. Someone found something to love in dark, and you know what? We love that.
I thought of the hostage
in the dark, or in dark BMX,
in dark BMX
specifically, that you're you're
I thought
referring
Dark
to. Not the
BMXers was in this
concept
movie
of
about 7 times. How many people in this movie were Dark BMXers?
All
I
of
know
them.
the guy who was trying to kick him out of the hospital was definitely Dark
Yeah.
BMXers. Why does he have to be here? He
Anyone
doesn't
who had
belong.
long
We can't
sideburns,
help
which is
him.
like half the doctor staff.
Yep.
They're
Anthony
all dark.
Hopkins.
Yeah.
He was also Princess of Wales, and he was
The-
also the guy who beats no
The guy
Yeah.
or when Anthony Hopkins was doing surgery, and there was a doctor across from him talking. He looked like the guy that was I don't know the actor's name. He looked like the guy that was in The Witch, the dad. He looked like him for a second, and he also has long sideburns.
Like Ralph Ineson?
Yes. Look like him too.
You know what John Hurt did in
This
movie
was in the 80s. What? Hold on, wait a minute.
I love his eyes in this movie.
Mhm.
Like John Hurt's
Does
eyes were
so
so
much.
emotive and pretty and beautiful. Like all the other thing went away when he was like in those certain scenes. Like I think that's probably did he win Best Actor for this?
He was nominated. There was
nominated.
They didn't win any Oscars, but it was nominated for 8. I can
it's not
find that
bad,
while
right?
you guys keep talking.
No,
Just
it's
a
okay.
second.
This movie wasn't like most David Lynch movies for sure, because most David Lynch movies are more meandering and mystery. There's usually a mystery component, right? But I feel like this was more married to Eraserhead, which had a very plain narrative, I felt like, but with all kinds of other shit going on with it. Right.
Yeah.
But this was like, oh, let's stick to the story. I think that, and like, do you think David Lynch saw himself as the Elephant Man or as the doctor in this? Because he always tries to put himself both.
Yeah.
I think he's both. Yeah, I think he sees himself as like an
outsider.
And
they're both outsiders too, because the rest of the doctors don't want to fuck with him. The administrators don't want to fuck with him.
You don't want to look anymore.
Say it again.
What happened?
I said I have the answers for the Oscars if you.
I'm almost there. I'm right there.
It takes two freaks to get out of trouble sometimes, right? And they're both outsiders, right? Because he's like looking to try to help him, and so I could see that they're like he's saying like this is the key to being an outsider is find other outsiders and form community. Otherwise, the mass who don't care is just going to run you over and isolate you. Because when you get an outsider isolated, that's when you can like make them think they're worthless. And that's essentially how you stop an outsider. But if other outsiders are working with other outsiders, then they feel like the Avengers or the X-Men. A lot of the X-Men now. Was this the X-Men?
I think so.
Brian Singer, W's in chat.
Oh, hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
We're not
Roman Polanski.
Speaking of Roman Polanski,
Brian Singer. So this movie was nominated for Best Picture. It was nominated for Best Actor in a Leading Role for John Hurt. It was nominated for Best Director, David Lynch. It was nominated for Best Writing, Screenplay based on material from another medium. It was nominated for Best Art Direction. It was nominated for Best Costume Design, Best Film Editing, and Best Music, which I think it nails all of those. Like you read all of those, it doesn't just like excel in just one of them.
Who won that year? What was the big winner?
I don't know.
1980.
It's probably like Reds or some fucking movie like that, or maybe The Deer Hunter might have been around there.
The Shining came out in 1980, but I think that one was
nominated. They didn't nominate movies like that.
I think that was nominated for Razzie.
They didn't nominate movies like that back then, JC. It was only period dramas.
It was ordinary people.
Ordinary people. That's exactly the type of. And you know what that was? That was essentially divorce story or marriage story, except 70s version.
So in that same year, Elephant Man lost to for the so in art direction it lost to Tess.
I don't know what that is.
Tess
lost to Tess, and cinematography Tess also won. Who was Tess directed by?
Roman Polanski.
Roman Polanski.
No, it wasn't.
Costume design. Roman Polanski.
You want to apologize to Roman Polanski tonight, JC? It's the time.
He did not win Best Director though.
Good.
Ordinary
Good
people.
for you, JC.
Robert Redford
either.
is a director.
Robert Redford.
Oscar-winning director. That's crazy.
Yeah. Do you know another interesting little tidbit? The little kid.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Okay.
Good.
I want Robert Rodriguez to direct Goonies 2, and that's all I want to say.
What is
Go ahead.
I don't hate that.
Anyway.
So
the little kid, like in the circus, the little kid that went back to his master, that was Dexter Fletcher, who Dexter Fletcher directed the Rocket Man, the the biopic,
Elton John biopic.
The Elton John biopic, which is fantastic.
Did you know that a childhood Phil Collins was in Magical Mystery Tour as the lead child?
I didn't know that.
It's just as interesting as that fact you gave me, JC.
Did you?
Jesus Christ!
Excuse me. He's a good director. But
no, I haven't seen it. So I don't know.
Great. It's really good.
Okay.
It should have been nominated for Best Picture, and Bohemian Rhapsody can go suck a fat one.
Wow.
Okay.
But
what about the one about the Indian guy who loves the Beatles in India? What was that?
Danny Boyle movie yesterday.
What was it called?
That's a Danny Boyle film.
We gotta watch it.
See that movie? You know,
I know. We gotta watch it.
I love the Indian.
The premise
Beatles
is so
songs.
stupid. It's so
when they do the
stupid.
ragas and stuff, though.
Dude,
but there's a lot of Indian influence in the Beatles' music as far as the chord structure. Because they have a whole different chordal.
My issue
right?
with the movie is that my issue with the premise of the movie is that he forgets, like, everyone forgets who the Beatles are, and he just plays the songs acoustically on his guitar. That wasn't the only thing the Beatles were like famous for. It wasn't just their songwriting.
Well, no, he's just showing them how. I mean, that's his thing.
But the Beatles, like, their instrumentation is what was so.
We don't know.
We
don't know in this universe. We don't. That doesn't exist. We don't know that.
They're undeniable, right? Their tunes are so, like, they have great structure and stuff. Like, there's certain reasons why those songs always work, because there's 4 chords that
they're
are
not just a
guy
to
make 90%
with an
of pop
acoustic
songs.
guitar. That's not what the Beatles are.
Too. He is singing too.
He is singing too.
Yeah.
Like John, he sounds
just
just
a way
like
to resell
Lennon.
Beatles catalog music, right? And didn't Michael Jackson own that last time I checked? And his estate, like, they just want to repackage it so they can sell another soundtrack of the Beatles again. Resell. I can't believe All You Need Is Love for the 80th time.
I can't believe Danny Boyle directed that movie. But moving back to the Elephant Man. I think it's interesting that really interesting that Mel Brooks is the reason that this movie. Yeah, he's the reason this movie exists. Basically, Mel Brooks saw Eraserhead, and he went to David Lynch, and he was like, "Do you have any other ideas?" And David Lynch was like, "Well, I'm really interested in Joseph Merrick, the Elephant Man, and telling that story." And Mel Brooks was like, "That'd be perfect." Like, and basically,
was he coming off Young Frankenstein?
Yeah, I think so.
Which is another black and white movie that's beautifully shot.
So listen, I haven't seen Young Frankenstein. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, you haven't? It's fucking hilarious.
I know what it is, and I know parts of it, this and that, whatever.
Yeah.
And like I know the musical part where they're dancing, and then he's like he sings that part. I don't know why I expected that to happen in this movie.
There was a lot of parts that could have gone comedically in this movie, like because like that apartment that he was in, it felt like a sitcom stage sometimes. Like he would come through the door.
He came in like fucking Kramer.
Kramer
slid in.
He's like, I want to make a sequel to this, but it's a sitcom. And he's going to murder people with a giant sword at night.
That would be hilarious. He came in without anybody, just slid in. And I was like, "What are you doing? What's the deal with your face?
What's the deal with these canvas bags? You can't breathe in them, and you can't be seen."
Yeah.
Why do they have one eye too? Just had one eye.
Because it's scary and it looks cool as fuck. Like, I think that's a great look. Like the bag, like the baghead always scares people more than the actual reveal. And also, we've seen like so many fucking gross things now in 2025. In 1980, that was still creepy. Like that would put people off. Like
when did
that reveal. Now it's not that big of a deal, but it was kind of shocking.
When did The Exorcist come out?
73.
Oh, it's okay.
Like 7 years before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I also thought the whole thematic idea of his mum and how beautiful his mother was, like gorgeous, and the kind of, again, the juxtaposition.
That's what he was thinking about when he was dying too.
Yeah, how did that create this? Like, but the person's still in what? What are you pointing at?
I'm trying to point to his frame.
Pointing at Merrick.
Oh, I see.
Jump over.
Well, she represents divinity and hope, and like when he's dying, he's like transporting into heaven or wherever he's going with the light and everything, and her face is there. He's flying to her. Like her beauty represents purity and safety and comfort that he remembers. But the sad part is like she's still around, and he doesn't. And like she says, like, "Oh, I wish she could see me now and see how maybe she would accept me." That's fucking heart.
Thinking about that part actually does make me like emotional, because when he's talking to Treve's wife, and he's like, talking about he shows a picture of his mom, and then he's like, I'm just a disappointment or something, and that kind of got me. And then
and she's like, no, she's
like, no, someone who loves his mom like that could never be a disappointment. And then he's like, I just want to see her or meet her, and that got me a little bit.
I got so emotional.
And of course, the old man isn't even on his mind, because they're usually the pieces of shit that they never. They're never flying towards the dad. They're always flying towards mom, because mom's always going to be there. Like usually longer at least, but like the Victorian. Like I love that scene when they're showing the mill where these guys are just doing this all fucking day. It must be so hot, and you can't. That's what you do every day. And then you go fucking drink yourself to death. They used to have lines that you would hang over. If you couldn't afford to rent a bed, you would hang on I swear to God, I used to thought this was a made up story. They would literally hang on a wire to sleep if they couldn't afford a bed. And there's documentation of this shit, right?
Do they not have a home, or they couldn't go home, or what?
They can't be on the street because the cops would get you. And like you could get a straw piece of shit thing for like a nickel or whatever, but if you had like nothing left, or like basically free, right, they would hang on a rope, on a string, like a clothes, and like I don't even understand how you would, like, what do you mean? I'll just sleep on the floor. But for whatever reason, I don't know, they were fucked up, man. This is a time when 95% of the people didn't read, right? They didn't know anything beyond the block that they lived or the town they lived. They didn't know where Germany was. They didn't know about Bolivia. They didn't know anything. And so they just lived in complete like blinders, just like do the thing, do the job, like a horse, like eat the oats, do the job, shit, and like, shoot your rocks off once a week. And they had 11 kids, and they all put to work immediately, 7-year-olds in fucking factories like that. Textile mills, right? There was a famous Triangle fire at the Triangle shirt factory where they locked all the doors and there was a fire, and that finally caused the big uproar that finally got like safety hazards. Like they would lock the doors of the factory so you couldn't get out even if there was a fire, right? They would lock you in there.
Awful. I do have a question, because we see those dream sequences 3 times. The first time is the start of the movie, and essentially it shows his mother. It's John Merrick's mother, getting trampled by elephants, right? She's screaming, and then what's his name? The ringmaster, the guy who owned John, describes how he came to be who he was, and it's exactly what we saw. He said his mother was trampled by elephants, and
that's how birth effects.
No, it doesn't. It's a lie. But
wasn't the movie Mask about the same condition? The Rocky Dennis, or isn't that the same illness, except that's in a more modern context?
Yeah, maybe.
I think.
When I was reading about Joseph Merrick, it seems like they're not actually sure. Like they're not actually medically sure what caused his. Like there's theories, but they don't know exactly what caused all of his defects.
Things going on. Had a couple,
but
he was born that way, right?
But how do you interpret those dream sequences? Because the second time it's sort of a similar thing, and then the last time he's embraced. But is he embraced by his mom? Yeah,
I think he's going to heaven. I think he's dreaming all the times, and those are kind of how dreams are. They're like fade in and out, and like he's having a nice dream at the end. He had a terrible, scary dream in the midsection, right? And that gives David Lynch the opportunity to do the Eraserhead stuff with the opacity. Like every time I saw the opacity, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, more this opacity. Is
more opacity.
And like, he had a scary one, and that's the scene where they had the factory workers and the steam and like visions of like the hovel he was in. It's just like it's like things. I think dreams, like my dreams, are like that, like trains passing, like images and like washing, and nothing really long, right? And I feel like a slideshow almost you've seen.
My dreams get very specific. Like I had a dream recently where where it was kind of like it was like a murder mystery was going on, and there was and there was like this really interesting reveal, and
That's cool.
in the dream, like I think the reveal is like genius, so I like write it down for like to make a movie. You know what I mean? Like it was like
I think you want to write, like you're a big Ryan what's the name of the Ryan Johnson fan, and I think you have a murder mystery in you, JC.
Oh, I think so, 100%.
And I think you should start working on it though.
My idea,
because I think like your subconscious is already working on it, as you can tell. That's you writing that dream. Like you wrote that, right?
Wait,
everything.
Do you write it down in the dream, or do you write it down when you wake up?
I write it down in the dream.
Oh, so
and I'm like showing it to people, and they're like, "Wow, this is really good. This is really good." But I did have an idea for a movie, and the whole idea is essentially it's the Hateful Eight. You know, like the murder mystery in the Hateful Eight, but it's set on a space station, essentially. So it's like a refuge space station center. It's like set in the future, and everyone, like, that's where people take refuge when like they're in deep space, and like a bunch of people, like bunch of random people from different parts of like the galaxy end up on a space station, and then a murder happens, and then you slowly find out like different stuff about like their past and everything. And that's the kind of idea that I've had in my head for a murder mystery.
Did you ever watch Deep Space Nine?
No, I didn't.
Because that's essentially a deep outpost. Because one of the great things about those things is you can have variety of characters, right? Because that's the excuse. It's so deep that all the weirdos are coming in, right? So like it's a fun idea. And I think
it's like it'd be a chamber piece too.
The setting is great for the way it looks, but the key to a good murder mystery is the story and the
story,
and the little things, right? And Agatha, I love Agatha Christie. I don't know if you've read any Agatha Christie.
No, I haven't.
Like the movies are nowhere near as good as this lady. Can write her nuts off, and she can make the most. It seems like I remember they used to give us in school, and like I don't want to read the fucking Murder on the Orient Express, you fucking nerd. And then you start reading it, and like, oh my god, I'm in 4 chapters here because her character development and actually how she formulates. And then the other one I used to read a lot of was Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the Sherlock Holmes. The Hounds of Baskerville. There's some great compendiums of his short stories because they were published in newspapers originally as short stories, as serials. And so those are bangers too, man. They're just great stories, man.
I've heard the Le Carre books are really good as well. John Le Carre. I've heard they're
Jean
fantastic.
Le Carre, if you want to really get into real spy like James Bond is all the bullshit. Jean Le Carre is the real, the bureaucratic knife fighting, the triple. There's a great show that was called The Night Manager, and it was a mini series that was on AMC. If you can get that, that's a wonderful way to watch Jean Le Carre because it's got wonderful locations. It's a tropical location, and the acting is great. A lot of his stuff can be really stuffy, like Tinker, Soldier, like all that stuff. Like that's complicated shit. But like start with The Night Manager. I think The Night Manager is a banger that people really haven't seen a lot of, but it's really good.
I want to bring it back to the Elephant Man. Yeah. I really come on.
I mean, I thought we were going to talk about Goonies 2 by Robert Rodriguez. You want to bring back to the America? You want to talk about the David Lynch?
It's Goonies, but the S is a 2.
What if it's a Elephant Man mashup? It's a sitcom. It's a Goonies sitcom with Elephant Man. And he's also killing everyone.
I was thinking Toonies.
Toonies.
Is that about Newcastle?
I don't know.
But it's only released in Canada. That's it. You have to go to Canada to watch it.
The Toonies. Yeah.
What did you want to say, JC?
I just wanted to say, I've forgotten now. I'm sorry. My train of thought.
Well, let's see what we talked about. We talked about the lighting. We talked about the music. We talked about the acting. We talked about the story. Are there the costumes? I mean, for a period, I love the set design was amazing. There's this shot that I put some screenshots that I like in the thing. There's the shot of the dog walking down the street, like that's a pull away shot from like ground level, and you see the cobblestones and the the smoke. I wonder where they shot this, because the sets are they really are like, obviously they use real buildings from that era and all that stuff. But like, you were never taken out. Like, I believe we were in that period, and the black and whiteness and the lighting makes you feel even closer to that world, right?
Absolutely.
Because like, if they put it in color, it wouldn't feel right. Like, I've seen My Fair Lady in color, and that should be like in black and white because it takes place in that period or something.
But I just remember what I wanted to say. This movie was like actually really unconventional for David Lynch. It didn't have a lady singing on stage. It had a lady on stage, like speaking to John Merrick and you know, getting a round of applause for him.
Please.
But we didn't have a woman singing on stage. We did have black or red curtains. They weren't, obviously they were black and white, but you could tell they were red. Did we have zigzag patterns anywhere? Did we notice any?
I don't think so.
No? The zigzag floor patterns? No?
Did he use equipment that was vintage for this movie?
I don't know. I have to look it up.
That'd be interesting to ask, because like, I think what he was doing with that final play where they had the fairies and the it was a very dreamy too, because like, he's watching it and it's almost through his eyes, where he's like, sometimes you experience something and you're so full of joy that you love it so much. It's such a treat that your mind is actually reinterpreting it in real time and kind of like giving it a visual, like it's going so fast and he's trying to catch everything. And they had like the bear go by, and I love how he did that. It reminded me of like the earliest films, the black and white films. Like, we talked about the Journey to the Moon one, right? And I put that in the thing, but that was very much like paper cutouts and handmade costumes. And I thought that was like a homage to that. But like, none of those conventions of David Lynch were in this, like you're saying, right? There's no mystery to this, right? Was there mystery? No questions. We all knew from the beginning to the end exactly what the deal was. There's no metaphor, really. Maybe in the, like, you know, we all get the metaphor of the mom and stuff. That's very basic, but nothing like really complicated, right? And so I think he really wanted people to get this story. I think he really cared about this story. I felt like he wanted people to get what this is, just like treat people decently. I think that's the story. The more it's like, don't be cruel to people.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm just reading about.
And I shout out Dead Man Pink because he's in the chat and he's creeping, and I know he's here.
Dead Man Pink.
Lurking. No, I see him in the fucking watching, but he won't say anything in the chat.
Right now, that's why.
Don't call him out.
Right? Okay, good. That's good. He's lurking. We'll love it.
Let him lurk.
I'm just teasing him. I just want to know that we love him. That's all.
We do. We do.
So, Mel Brooks, basically, like the producer of this movie, Jonathan Sanger, showed the script to Mel Brooks, and Mel Brooks said he read it through in one sitting and cried. It was the first time something like that had moved him since The Miracle Worker. And then Brooks helped finance it by Brooks Films, his new company.
Mel Brooks is one of the great heroes of Hollywood. He is no fear. You look at a movie like Blazing Saddles, or the movie he made about the Holocaust, the comedy musical he made about the Holocaust, aka The Producers. He doesn't, because he's trying to say, okay, they want you to be afraid of us. They want you to be afraid of, but we're not going to be afraid of you because you're ass, and we're going to laugh at you. Right? That's what, you know.
Yeah.
And so like he could say, like, no one's offended by Mel Brooks movies because they get, even though you could be offended if you want to, but it's in the spirit that it's presented. And also so many bangers, like the jokes are funny. That's the thing. Like, you can get away with stuff if it's funny because people are too busy laughing to be mad. Right. And they laugh to spite themselves. Right.
Yeah.
And I think Young Frankenstein is his masterpiece if you want to just see one.
And I think also, like, comedy is also a dramatic art. Like, the timing of comedy, like, and the build up of comedy is the exact same build up as drama, as horror as well. So I think comedians, they're really good at noticing, are really good at crafting good drama as well. And I think, and I think when Mel Brooks, as, like, obviously a comedy director, like, he saw Eraserhead.
Fearless.
Yeah. So something like this is so, like, it's not as weird as you might think. This coming out of Mel Brooks, but I just want to read this.
This is the thing. He had a couple of hits, and, like, you know, he wants to support other directors. And just because you're a comedy director doesn't mean you don't love dramas and musicals. And he probably supported some other films and other things too, because that's just the way. Like, they were very close with Carl Reiner and Ann Mira, and like, you know, all of those, like, I'm trying to think of the what's the guy who was in Tropical Thunder, who directed that?
Ben Stiller.
His father, Ben Stiller, right? His parents, they're all connected, right?
So I'm going to read this. The makeup, supervised by Christopher Tucker, was based on direct casts of John Merrick's body, which had been kept in the Royal London Hospital private museum.
Do they have the
makeup,
penis?
I don't know.
Well, I want to know.
The makeup took 7 to 8 hours to apply each day and 2 hours to remove. John Hurt would arrive on set at 5 a.m. and shoot his scenes from noon until 10 p.m. After his experience of the inconvenience of having to apply the makeup and perform with it, he called his girlfriend saying, "I think they have finally managed to make me hate acting." Because of the strain on the actor, he worked alternate days. So it ended up extending
because like they're waiting to set up the scene most of the day, right? And so you're buried alive in this shit because it's 1980 and it's not nice stuff. Like it's like probably being entombed.
Absolutely.
See, I'm just gonna have nightmares now after that. That's his real.
Yeah.
But you know what? It got him into character too, because he could feel the powerlessness and being trapped, like my man's was. Because like he just wanted to fly and soar. Like he was a real gentleman and an artist and a beautiful person. And if he lived in a world that allowed him to be seen from birth like that, then you know it would be a much better place.
It makes me think of Adam Pearson. If you look him up, he's like severely disfigured, and he's got a twin brother who don't know who it is. Look it up. He was in a movie called A Different Man with
Bucky Barnes.
Yeah, with the Bucky Barnes. Yeah. With
is that movie good?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
No, but I've heard good things about it.
Movie, so thanks.
Sorry, but Adam Pearson, I can't even imagine what it'd be like to have a twin brother who's like really handsome, like an identical twin brother who's really handsome, and in the meantime, you have been afflicted with this.
No, what I would do is I would take a chunk out of his face. Yeah, we got to even the odds. What are you talking about? That's not fucking cricket.
Oh, I think that's not cricket, the disfigured guy more.
Oh God!
I gotta have a level playing field.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll tell you something about the Elephant Man. The Elephant Man was a rizzer. He's the Rizzler because he's dropping straight Shakespeare on mommies from the stage, and she's like, "Yes, you can have a kiss, sir,
Romeo.
And I don't care what you look like because your iambic pentameter is on joint." Okay, so like he could rizz, and like you know,
he got the Princess of Wales on his side. Like
the Princess of Wales, like, can I meet him? Can I just like hang out with him? And like, no, you can't meet him.
Yeah,
he doesn't like brunettes. I think that a lot of them like the idea, but I feel like the actor like the idea of liking him, but the actress really seemed to fuck with him, and I appreciated that. And maybe that was just the performance, but I feel like she was like being straightforward. Like I didn't feel like she was like, "Oh, I can use this."
No, as opposed
maybe
to
that's just my sweetheart.
As opposed to the two people he was having tea with, like the high society people that he was having
and
tea
they're
with.
Like, oh, would you like a spot of tea?
And they're just like really nervous with everything he says.
They're all fidgety. Yeah, they're like, oh.
It's like, come on, guys.
It would have sucked to live back then.
Yeah.
Even if you were rich, you had to dress in a fucking full wool thing constantly. Nobody was taking baths or showers on the regular. Everything stunk. Everything was itchy. People were annoying. People were always lecturing you about religion. Like, you have to understand, that was a religious state back then in the 1900s in England. It was an Anglican state, the Church of England. You couldn't say this. You couldn't say that. You had to obey the Bible. That was the law, essentially. It was the Bible. Okay? It was just enforced in a different way. But I'm just saying, it was not fun.
No. Do we want to rate this up? Do you reckon we're there? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think we're right on time, right? Yeah, perfect.
Do you want to go first, Brad?
You know, the person who picks the movie,
he has to go last.
What's going on today, Time?
I don't know. Is this
crazy. Like I think he's been reading John Le Carre.
Sort of like trying to break conventions. I'm trying to be David Lynch.
All right, I'll go first. I'll go first.
Or we can do whatever we want. Go ahead, my guy.
I'm gonna say I think this movie is my least favorite of all the Lynch movies so far. But still good. I still,
you liked
still
it less than his first film?
Yes, Eraserhead. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I thought the movie was good. I think the story behind it was touching and endearing. I think it overall, I think right now we need something like this because it just shows us that we need to be nice to people, regardless of what they look like, regardless of, whatever, all that, surface level stuff, all that bullshit. At the end of the day, we're just humans, everyone's going through their own shit. Everyone's just trying to navigate life as best as they can. So that's why we need to be nice to Donald Trump. And that's my, yep. You saw that coming.
Mom Donnie was very nice to him.
I'm nice to him every day. I don't
Mom
smack
Donnie's
him
a
in the
socialist
fucking
piece of
mouth.
shit.
How about that? Every day I don't kick him in the shins. I'm being nice.
I don't know.
Anyways, what a king. What a king.
Anyways, yeah, no, I'm again, I'm minus the last part. It was, there's a certain level of, I don't want to say grace because I don't think that's the right word. There's a certain level of just admiration and respect for someone that could just go through all this shit and just not fight back, not turn to anger, not bitch about it, and to just keep going on and just,
I'm a human being.
I mean that's the only thing. He's a human being. He's being chased, which is, that's like his only outburst.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of stuff that he went through was very sad, and the things that he was wanting and longing for were like very emotionally human core things, that did bring like, a little tear to my eye, with his mom and stuff like that. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead. By the way, this movie gets bonus points because they say Elephant Man a couple times.
They do say Elephant
Man. Oh yeah,
that's right.
You know my rating system. You got to get those bonus points.
If I told you that a certain movie that we want you to watch soon gets those bonus points as well.
Just keep saying one battle after another.
I told you, don't try to sell time on it because you're going to push him away from it.
Makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's just one battle after another. Is that what they did?
There is a line in the movie that says one battle after another.
That fits into the stupid little, maybe we are the Walking Dead. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
You got to watch the movie though.
Okay. I guess I got to find out. The movie. Well, yeah, I give this movie a 76.
I'm pretty sure you gave Eraserhead
I don't remember what I gave
lower score, but
are you score checking?
Yeah, he's score checking.
I am.
We don't keep track. I don't know what anyone's score.
I got to go back and watch all the things.
All kinds of scores, and I would believe you, JC.
I got to make a grid.
You gave that an 82, and I'm like, oh, I did. I guess I'm a fucking.
Yeah.
That's why I don't believe in them. The numbers don't mean anything to me, JC.
I think it's worth a watch. I think it is a little slow at the beginning. It takes a little bit to get into, but it's worth it to see, the endearingness and the courage and the love and respect and hope that is in a
Christmas movie.
John Merrick.
Merrick.
By the way, John Merrick Garland is fire. That's such a good name.
That's so good. That's so good.
I was going to pick something else. I'm glad you liked that. I was not going to pick that. I thought it was too easy.
No, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
I thought Princess Patty of Wales was too easy, but
I went mine was good. I am not a streamer.
Yeah, I love this movie as well. David Lynch just keeps hitting it out of the park. Like I don't have anything bad to say about him. I've loved basically everything I've watched from him so far, and this is no exception. Even though it doesn't really stick to like the sort of like what we know from David Lynch, like thematically it does, I think, but storytelling wise, it's a very traditional biopic, and it shows just like he can do it all, and everything he does is intentional and done with care and craft, and I love it. I love this film. It made me tear up maybe 4 times watching this, and not a lot of films I can say do that. So I have to give it Toy Story 1 once, like not 4 times.
Tron Legacy made me cry 7 times. Other than that,
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Ooh,
third one.
Come on.
Third one. But no, this is I like this more than Eraserhead. I think David Lynch just got better and better and better and better as he went on. I'm currently watching the third season of Twin Peaks, which I think is his last project, like last full, longer than feature length project, and it's a masterpiece so far. So the guy just hit home runs over and over and over again, and he did it in a way that no one else really did. And this is fantastic. I'd give it a 90 out of 100. I think anyone would be able to watch this movie and enjoy it. I love you, David Lynch. Rest in peace.
David, if you can hear me right now,
very much.
He's very missed.
Yeah.
I uploaded a bunch of my clips to YouTube today, and one of my favorite ones is my David Lynch, "This is a donut" clip, right? Because he has this whole thing where he goes, "This is a donut. It's very sweet and very delicious, but how would you know how sweet and delicious a donut is if you've never tasted it?" And I just loop that over a Chemical Brothers thing. But like, first, why is this movie impossible to rent in the United States? If you go to Amazon Prime or any place, they have a play version of this movie, which is a stage play that somebody recorded. And to me, that's like fraud. They shouldn't be allowed to. It's 1982. The picture looks like the Elephant Man. They're trying to pretend it's the Elephant Man. I was looking it up and I'm like, did David Lynch direct the Elephant Man? I almost had a fucking like my whole like what is real and like
what's
like
real?
did Jim Henson make the Muppets or like are we in like fucking Belarus right? Like what? Who am I? But no, it turns out it's a pain in the ass, and that's crazy. And like it was on the archives, and somebody fucking took that down. I don't know who. Fuck you. I guess it's in a licensing dispute. So I want to say that's ridiculous. Like there's certain directors like there where movies should be available for people who are in high school and college, and like there's certain Criterion Collection be better about supporting people who don't have fucking $4 even. Okay.
Apparently the West End play actually sued Brooks Films over the use of the title, The Elephant Man.
I bet they're like they don't want to pay, and they,
Yeah.
Second thing I want to say, the times that John Merrick succeeded in his struggle against society were the times he stood up for himself. And when he like finally broke through with the doctor to continue doing the 23rd Psalm, and so he could be overheard, he was getting used to that. And like the apocalypse scene is like when they're at the train station, he finally gets back from France, where even when the French spit on the guy, right? There's the scene where he collapses, right? And even the French are like, "You're just an asshole." And they spit. There's this one the guy spits on the guy who's manipulating.
Yeah.
There's a Frenchman who spits on the guy who beats John Merrick, right? His handler or his agent. And sometimes I think that some of this movie is a metaphor for Hollywood for David Lynch because of the management and stuff. But that's me just like, I think it's a literal translation, basically. And he stands up for himself in the train station. He finally, like, they might tear him apart and kill him at that point, right? Because, but then he stops them and he turns to them and he speaks to them, right? And so, like, that's a very good lesson. I think this is a good movie for people who feel like they're outsiders or people who feel marginalized or people who are going through a struggle right now that they can't think they can withstand and they can't see themselves continuing. This man continued, right? In like the worst situation, like there was no hope. Like he had to believe he was going to die in that fucking hovel. There was no chance that a fancy doctor from the London whatever school of whatever was going to come rescue him. There was literally 1 billion and one chance that it was going to happen. But guess what? It did happen. And sometimes you just have to hold on and make it through what you're going through right now. Sometimes survival is just wading in the water and staying, right? You can't necessarily swim out of it, but you have to just keep going and keep floating as much as you can until you get the strength to keep. And then when he had the chance, he took it every time. When they gave him a chance to dress up and be a gentleman, he did it. And he did a great job. Obviously, it was much better than living in the hovel, but he also had a love for those things, right? And so I think this is a very important story about resilience, and I think it was beautifully shot. It's a technical masterpiece. I think if Eraserhead is the EP, this is the album, right? Like I feel like Eraserhead was the mixtape, and then he's like, okay, but he had to make the first album so that it would sell commercially, so he could make more movies that he really might want to make, like what he eventually got to do. But this movie, the critics were probably ready, or the audiences were ready to reject it because of the visual style. But the story was so straight up that if they had a different visual style, it would have been a very mainstream kind of situation, right? Almost an after-school movie or a Lifetime, but less melodramatic than like those type of movies, right?
Yeah, and it's also really good on a resume to be listed as an Academy Award winning, Academy Award
Eight-time
nominated
nominees.
director.
Listen, nominee is as good as that's a lot of points. That's a lot of XP.
So that would have
very
given
rare.
Like free reign after that.
I think it's great. I think I would love to know more about the technical stuff and like what kind of equipment they used, and like the thing that was so amazing to me about Eraserhead was the lighting and the fact, like the contrast, and like he would put, like you see the shot, like the way he places the light is very important. It seems like he'll put this, like the light here and then back here, and then the person will walk through it, and it creates dimensionality, right, in the contrast and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think this is a good movie. Like if you don't like David Lynch, watch this movie, because it's not like any other David Lynch movie, and you might like, it's just a good fucking movie, you know? And you're gonna look at the visual and style and say, oh, this is gonna be artsy and boring and weird. And it's really, the script is really good. Like the writing is the conversations are very interesting, and the characters are interesting. I like the characters, the nurses, and they're trying to deal with it. The mean nurse, like the head nurse, and she gets warmed over, and by the end she knocks out that guy, which is the only comedy scene. The coconut, she comes up behind him and goes, right? Yeah. That was kind of funny. It was a banger. So I love this movie. I wouldn't say I like this better than that one. I think it's so different. Right, it's not like I like orange sherbet better than chocolate ice cream. It's just so different. They're both cold confections. So I think it's a 90, and I think it's. I would love to tell people to go see it, but I know you can't unless you have BitTorrent, and that's a fucking shame.
This is the only movie on the Criterion website that is out of stock for David Lynch.
Wow.
What is going on? You can buy it for Blu-ray, I think.
It's not out of stock. Out of print. That's what it says.
Oh, out of print.
What is going on? There must be something to go contract something. Yeah. Free Elephant Man. I want to start a campaign on Free Grannies. Let's get this movie, allow it to be streamed for $3, and like let people fucking watch the movie. Put it on YouTube and let just people watch it for free. David Lynch. If you can hear the state, Mel Brooks, Mr. Brooks, please just like I know your son who wrote World War Z, and he lectures at Harvard, and he lectures at the Army War College. Did you know that? Mel Brooks' son wrote World War Z, the novel.
Max Brooks is his son?
Max Brooks release Elephant Man. You know what? You know what people want. You know what they need. It's important for the legacy of both people. And this is a great. And I like this movie because it's so different than his other David Lynch movies, and that makes it kind of special, right? Because imagine if you make 11 oil paintings and one is a watercolor, and like, oh, that one, why did you do that?
Yeah,
like why is this one, and like what, like all of them are like brown, different color palette, and this one has a different. I mean, I'm not talking about the visual part, but the flavoring is different. So I think it's a 90.
Yeah. And you were saying like when we like, you know, people who are going through a tough time, they feel outcast and stuff, and like this movie is really, really good about really good for like perseverance and getting through it. But I also think it's really good
for yourself too. That's the other thing. Because there was points where if he didn't, he would have been right back in that fucking hole. And sometimes you got to stop and say, listen, my friend, you're not going to do that to me today.
And I also think it's a really good symbol for society and how like for society to like accept something that initially might seem out of the ordinary. All it takes is exposure and education, like those two things. Just the more people knew about him, the more people found out more information about him and got to know him, the more they accepted him. And I think that's the same. Yeah,
become the other person. Look at them through your eyes. Imagine what it feels like to be them. Yeah, that's empathy, and that's when you turn people. Usually, it's not sympathy. Sympathy is different. empathy is different than sympathy, right?
Yeah.
Right. Sympathy is like, oh, but empathy is like, okay, I can feel what you're feeling, and that's a much richer experience.
Yeah, and all it takes is exposure and education, I think. And I think this
Spend
movie
time
does
with people and you get to see
really,
yourself in them.
really good job at conveying that. And yeah, next week is the 29th. 29th next week. We're doing. It's my choice. The show is my choice.
Are we done with David Lynch?
No.
Oh.
This is probably going to be my last David Lynch pick.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
No, I thought we only watched David Lynch movies.
He's only got
a life without David.
He's only got 3 more movies that we can.
But I'm going to be mourning.
On 3, we're all going to say what the movie is.
All right, ready?
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, he's only got 3 movies left, so you got to figure out which one it is.
I'll guess.
All right. Ready?
I'll do it. I'll play.
1,
3,
2, 3.
Lost
Highway.
Yeah!
It's Lost Highway.
I always said Inland Empire, but I know you're not that sexy.
We're doing Lost Highway. This is a movie that I've been fascinated by.
Have you seen it?
I have not seen it, but
okay,
I've seen clips or shots from it.
I think I've seen it, or if I did, maybe once.
I think it's the you know how David Lynch really likes to attach a camera to the front of a car, and you can see the road in the headlights. I think this movie is that
movie.
Yeah, I would love to do that to my car. Is that easy enough to do? We got a GoPro and just drive around night.
Yeah,
with the fucking cool lighting. Oh my god,
he loves
drive as long as the battery lasts.
He just does it in Twin Peaks. He does it in Mulholland Drive. He does it in Blue Velvet. He does it in all of them. He didn't do it in this one. This is this movie breaks so many of his conventions. But Lost Highway, the poster is literally that shot. Is the POV camera shot, POV car camera shot. So I'm excited to see what it's about and what Lost Highway is.
Who's in it?
I think Laura Dern's in it. I want to have a look.
Oh God, me and Laura Dern have we had a falling out. Remember, I said all those things about Laura
Patricia
Dern.
Arquette.
Patricia Arquette.
Bill Pullman.
Oh my God!
And our favorite person.
Sexy
maybe
movie.
I shouldn't say this person.
Is this a sexy movie?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I didn't know David was this sexy. I keep thinking about fucking what's that, Mulholland Drive, and how I didn't expect it to get that sexy.
Did
you guys expect
in this?
One of our favorite non-problematic person, Robert Blake, is in it.
I don't know
Robert
who that
Blake.
Is.
Have you ever seen that documentary about him?
You know who Robert Blake is?
No.
Oh, he's hilarious. He supposedly killed a bunch of people. Oh, you got to check out the documentaries about him. Really? He's amazing. He's a character.
Gary Busey's in this movie. Apparently, Gary Busey's an awful person as well.
He's got a head injury. What happened to him is he fell off a motorcycle and he hasn't been the same since.
There's
a pre-head injury Busey and there's a post head injury Busey.
Giovanni Ribisi, I love him.
Ribisi's a goat.
Yeah,
he's on a good Amazon show.
Jack Nance is
back. Heck yeah.
Marilyn Manson's in this.
Ooh,
what?
Not problematic at all.
That's weird.
That is so exciting.
We're all like, everyone, yay! And they're like,
I'm sure David Lynch had no clue. I think
the studio probably put him in as an extra for fucking
Henry Rollins is an awful person too.
Is he? Henry Rollins? Wait, hold on. What did Henry Rollins do?
The Black Flag. Isn't he like an asshole in real life? That's what I've heard.
No,
I think he's like abrasive, maybe, but he's not an asshole.
No. I listen to his spoken word stuff. He is a beautiful soul, JC.
Okay.
The sweetest
I remember seeing
an
interview of him.
Listen to his podcast, bro. No, look up one of his interviews on his podcast. You're gonna fall in love with Henry Rollins. He has all he does is he has the most expensive stereo system. He has like an LA loft, and he just listens to vinyl records all day and writes poetry, bro. He is the sweetest man.
I think I saw a video of him interacting with like a young fan who was interviewing him, and he was like a total asshole. Yeah, complete dickhead to him. And I've just had like a bad impression of Henry Rollins since then. But,
I am gonna stand up and say Henry is a friend.
He's a good guy.
I have listened to maybe 300 hours of Henry Rollins spoken word, so like I feel like I understand him, and like he's so interesting.
He's the
he
Black
is
Flag
so interesting.
lead, right? He's the Black Flag
yeah,
lead
but like
singer.
you have to understand, like he's an actor, and like all that stuff is performative. A lot of it, and like he's not that person in IRL. Just listen to his stuff. I think you'll be really interested.
I believe you. I just didn't know enough about Henry Rollins. I thought it was.
Wrap
like,
up?
what?
Okay?
I didn't know he. I mean, I know Henry Rollins, but I didn't know anything.
I remember that one video, and I just like had
spoken word stuff. Like I don't know. A lot of people like This is the thing. Like most people don't sit down and listen to the long stuff, but like he makes albums that are just spoken word, which is, it's not comedy, it's not stand up, it's not theater, it's just
poetry.
It's different. I don't know what it's just him talking and telling stories and stuff. He's a world traveler. He has amazing stories about his time traveling through different regions of the world and what happened. And he's just like he's like one of those interesting people.
I can never get into Henry Rollins.
I mean, that's fair, man.
But you think he's a nice guy.
Everyone likes different things.
I said,
you know,
he comes off abrasive, but I think it's a character he plays. But I've never heard him being like an asshole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'll
have to find a good interview that's comprehensive of the good parts of him.
He looks huge too.
Like an early Rogan interview, like before Rogan got fucked up in the head, is a good one. There's a good one with him. They just sit down for 3 hours, and he talks about how he grew up in Washington D.C. and he was on like fucking. I don't know. Just check.
We'll have all the info by next week.
Is he going to be the guest? Henry Rollins? Next week, the 29th.
Surprise.
Well, surprise, Chad. Henry Rollins.
You're talking about Lost Highway. How good would that be?
But we should try to. We should try to get bigger guests and just fuck around and see.
On instead? That'd be cool.
Could you imagine if we start DMing or send them to their agents as a request? We have a library. I think somebody will do it. Meg Tilly.
We got the library.
Library.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Bye. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
It's not what that is at all.